Here you go, boys. Say, you both look like you got a furphy or two to tell.
G'day everyone and welcome to Crackin Furphys, the podcast where we crack some furphies over some cold ones. I'm your host Drew Agnew, and joining me along the bar are my good mates Ash, Dan and Tom. Boys, how we going?
A lot better than Ash by the looks of it.
Yeah.
I see. You might think that was hangover resultant, that recline in my chair and glassy eye look. But it was actually due to our new countdown timer, which was, might I say, very serene.
It was.
Very chill. Put me in a nice zen headspace.
I guess Oh, sorry, Ash.
I was just going to say, I think any trace of hangover has just evaporated from my body.
Well, thank God for that. So you had a big night on the Terps, is that what we're saying?
Oh, I feel like if I had have drank mineral turpentine, I'd be in a better state than I am now.
So was this one of those occasions where, there was a bit of something special to celebrate, or was it just sitting in your bedroom playing Call of Duty or something like that?
No, it was a going away of sorts for me and my housemates, because
cool.
I have been approved for my border crossing, and all things going smoothly, I should be in Adelaide on Thursday night.
Very cool. So yeah, I guess give the listeners a bit of an update. We've been sort of going over the last few episodes of where you're at, so you're finally there. Almost.
It's been such a head fuck from start to finish, but I'm at the last hurdle now. As long as we've just been told by Tom that there was a confirmed case in Mount Gambier, and as long as that doesn't cause any issues, then I should be good to go. Basically, though, I've been screwed over again right at the last step. So the idea was I was meant to be going to Southend to do my quarantine, and quarantining in a house down there that my mum has just spare for other reasons at the moment. So I was going to have a whole house to myself for 14 days. But now, instead, I have to drive to Adelaide to quarantine in a hotel room for 14 days. So instead of a 5-hour drive and a whole house to myself for 14 days, I now get to do a 10.5-hour drive to have a hotel room. And then I have to do a 5-hour drive once I get out of quarantine to get back to Millicent, Mount Gambier.
Yeah. It's frustrating because you'll be way safer and all that in your own house.
In the house, yeah, exactly. I understand that it is difficult to police because it's in a very small country town.
Yeah.
But I know that they'd have no way of confirming how trustworthy I am. But I wouldn't fuck around. I'd do the right thing, but they obviously, in their perspective, they can't risk that sort of thing, especially with how many cases there are in Victoria at the moment. I understand it, but it is very frustrating.
Yeah, just to the policeman out there, Ash Wallace doesn't fuck around. You heard it here.
And I spoke to them as well because, there's no contact with them at all until somebody rings you at the end to discuss your quarantine. I said to them, and I was like, look, I put down to do home quarantine. What's the deal? And they were like, yeah, you can try to get in for home quarantine if you do the application again, but you have to start from the start. And it took me 6 weeks to get an answer. I was like, yeah, I'm not doing that. I'm just going to do the hotel quarantine. On the plus note, it is free.
Oh, it's free. That's good.
good.
Yeah, that is. Yeah. Because it could be thousands of dollars if you had to bring it up out of your own pocket. So that's good.
Yeah. They did say that's subject to change, so they can change that. Hopefully they don't before
I'll
I'm
change
there.
that on day number 13 for you.
Yeah.
Just to mix it up.
I think as long as I'm in there before they change it, then I probably still wouldn't have to pay, though, because some people would probably cancel it and pull out if they found out that they were going to have to pay for it. So I don't know. Hopefully, fingers crossed, I don't end up having to pay.
Yeah, keep the money in your own pocket and they get your tax money to go somewhere to your motel room for a couple of weeks. What about you, Dan? What have you been up to?
I've pretty much been on holidays. I am just waiting for a contract to come in from my new job. They completed all the reference checks this week, which is just basically box checking. They've pretty much already offered me the job, and I'm just kind of hanging around waiting for a contract to pop up in my emails. But for the next week, I am in the bridal party of a wedding next Saturday. So got a wedding rehearsal tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow evening, and then gearing up for that during the week.
Yeah, I guess you got a bit more to practice for been in the bridal party since there's a bit more to
I'm a
that role.
bridesman this time instead of a groomsman. So
Yeah. What'd you have to do at mine? You just had to stand around and look pretty.
basically
Pretty
stand around and stand in a straight line. I think we ordered ourselves in order of height instead of any particular order, but it's not going to be the way. Your wedding was nice and relaxed. I don't think this one will be quite as relaxed, but
bit more going on. Are they able to?
Got to write a speech for it at the last moment as well, because the maid of honor is currently in two minds whether she's going to be able to do it or not. But
What, just like nervous?
nervous and apparently very busy with uni.
That's always what you want to hear from your maid of honor.
Yeah, just like, I'm a bit busy, man.
I know this is like the biggest day of your life, but I'm just a little bit busy.
So yeah,
bro.
I think because the wedding's at a golf course, so we're like, I just
nice.
might miss the speech. I'll go for a quick 9 instead.
Yeah, I'm a bit busy. I've got a fucking score to make.
And then I'm going to play golf.
I'm bloody snowed under, lads. Paw Patrol movie just came out.
Yeah, I dare say you've been to go and see that, Tom, with the kids. Yet, have you?
Literally like half an hour we got home from watching the Paw Patrol movie. I don't know what's wrong with me because I almost cried in that movie.
Oh, it's a
children's film.
It's a banger.
Mate.
I mean, let's be honest. Bambi was a children's film. And Fox and the Hound, like...
Yeah, true.
Paddington 2. Paddington.
Not sure I'd put those in the same league, but yeah, sure.
But yeah, yeah. I mean, I almost cried in the Paw Patrol film. It was a wild ride.
We're all laughing now because Drew's just brought our names up on the screen. They are Drewby. I am shell of a man because I am incredibly hungover, and then Dan is also not Ash, and Tom is positively not Ash.
Slightly better.
It's like, oh, well, at least we know they're not Ash. So.
Exactly.
Yeah. Dan, what are you drinking? So I assume Ash is drinking nothing since he's feeling pretty sick on it. But
Actually, I've got a can open from when I was doing my Zoom chat that I couldn't
He's
finish.
gone for the hair of the dog.
So I'll try to have a few sips, and we'll see how it goes.
So what was it? You showed the can, but for the audio listeners, what is it?
It is Nelson County. It's a very cheap bourbon.
Very nice.
No sugar, if I remember correctly.
Yes. I prefer the no sugar cans because they're not as sweet, and I like them better.
Yeah.
Right. I've got something a bit more experimental today. Got Green Beacon Cafe Creme Brulee Pastry Stout.
Pastry stout. Okay.
I've got a DOS Blockos here on draft on backup in case this turns out to be trash, but
I like the idea of you saying, like, I've got something very experimental, and then your camera pans around, like, I'm testing nuclear fission.
oh, I'm doing that in the other room. I can't. It's very sensitive to cameras.
That's why the bathroom's closed off this week, lads.
Yeah, you don't want to see what's going on back there.
He's taken the clothes down. He's shut the bathroom door. The only thing we can
use this time, boys.
The only thing we can judge him on is his book collection back there. Like, oh, you seriously reading? Have you not read the last Harry Potter book? Like, for real, Dan?
I saw
a fair amount of Dan Brown
I got the
there.
gist.
Yeah, you got the gist of it. Yeah.
Also, I'm normally streaming this to my Twitch channel, and that's how we had that real funny guy in the chat last week. But I'm not doing that this time because I am of no certainty that I'm going to hold out for the entire podcast. So I thought I probably better not stream it in case I have to bail.
He might have to go home early, ladies and gentlemen. He's feeling a bit crook.
Go home from the pub to have a quick vomit. I've already done that a few times today.
Can tell you what, Ash isn't going to be impressing the rep today at all.
No, the rep would be very
the
unimpressed.
rep's going to kick me out.
I think he was out having a few too many beers with the rep last night. That's why he's feeling a bit dusty.
Yep.
Hey, you're trying to butter up the rep, are you? Get that sponsorship? Well done, Ash.
I'm trying my best, but it's fucking backfired today, boys.
Tell you what, lads, don't actually mind that. It's
The
got
pastry.
coffee and vanilla in there as well.
Have you learned how to split the
got
atom
that
yet?
stouty aftertaste, but it's not bad. It's not bad. What do
Not
you got?
sure.
What do you got there, Drewby Doo?
I just got a 4X gold, mate. Just.
Ooh, are we in outback Queensland?
Oh, we are, mate. Oh, she's gonna look. I've got just
You're
like.
in a crocodile black singlet drinking a 4X.
I feel like he's about to start yelling Queenslander at us.
Do you need to leave so you can watch the NRL Grand Final?
This is a Northern Territory single. I got it from my honeymoon month or so ago. But I've just got some like roadies from from work, like at the end of work, when you share, basically the farm's like, oh, take a couple of beers, you know. It's just kind of like common courtesy in that line of work, I guess. And I just like have like, I got 1,4X Gold here. I got a Great Northern. I just got like these cans that are left over that I don't necessarily need on the, after work. So I'm just like, oh, I'll have them now. Because what happens with me is it just builds up over time. And I just got this fucking fridge full of just like random cans, which are probably like a year out of date. Dan could probably attest to that.
I can.
I think last time I was there, we were drinking year-old Furphys, actually.
I remember I opened your fridge once. I can't remember why, when I was at your place, and I was like looking, I was like, is that one of the Carlton Tries with a pull top?
Certainly was.
They were discontinued like a year ago.
Yeah, and they taste like it too, didn't they?
I didn't have one, thankfully. I have fear for my life. I'd be in a worse state than I am now. I think.
And I see Tom's on the Furphy, so at least someone's,
someone's keeping that brand name alive.
Someone's trying
I
to.
might not impress. I might not impress the rep, but I'll certainly drink his beer.
You buy it off him. You keep him in a job.
Exactly.
All right, let's talk about something that we actually forgot about last week. Was the Pakistan
scam.
Super League.
It is a pack of scam.
The Super League, whatever the cricket sort of organisation is over there. They tried to copyright us on Facebook for our Crackin Furphys episode a couple of weeks ago. So I sent a dispute, and the same week, or the exact same hour actually, I said, "Oh, that's no worries, but we will copyright the next episode as well." So I don't know, boys. When this came through, I'm like, what could we have said, or what could we have had on the screen that the Pakistan Super League could have possibly caught us up in their sort of copyright algorithm? Because I got no idea. We didn't talk about cricket. We did talk about sports, but I don't know what would have triggered it. And it triggered it again last week, and we definitely didn't say jack shit about nothing last week.
Yeah, because funnily enough, we actually didn't even bring it up during the episode.
But
The only thing that I can think about maybe last week was my head looks a little bit like a tennis ball and backyard cricket,
Yeah, well.
But, it speaks nothing for the first time that we got flagged.
Yeah, this Pakistan Super League, they're going out claiming copyright infringement on us when someone's lashed out at them for using songs without permission either. So
Yeah, they've literally just been embroiled in a copyright infringement scandal in the last week. And Dan sent this in our Discord channel, and I just cracked up laughing. I was like, this is too good to be true.
this is not a Furphy. Zohaib Hassan lashes out at Pakistan Super League for illegally using the song Disco Dwayne.
Those cheeky mutts fucking trying to copyright us, and then they're like, you know what, these guys are onto something. Let's steal shit.
No, boys, I won't stand for it whatsoever. I'm not going to be bullied by the Super League over there. I reckon it's just wrong. It's inhumane, if you ask me. It's just it's a bit rubbish. We're four men.
Violation of human rights.
We're four men over here trying to record a podcast on bloody Facebook, and they're just trying to take us down. What are we to them? They've got over 1 million followers on Twitter, and I don't know, we have like 6 listeners. So I don't know what they're trying to prove.
I think it was funny too, because when it happened, all 4 of us, like when you sent the screen cap of the notification saying that we've been copyright infringed, well, we had infringed on copyright. All 4 of us were like, I've literally never heard of the Pakistan Super League until this exact moment.
Yeah, and like after I found out about it, I actually bought a subscription. I really got into it. I love it, boys. No, not really. You've got to. I don't know what would get me into cricket. Probably if it was a different sport or something else, that'd probably get me into it.
I'd say a ticket would get you in.
Yeah, that would get me in, but get me invested in the atmosphere, the culture. You know.
Speaking of getting into sporting venues, I've got a brilliant anecdote to tell. Quick tangent. When Tom and I were living together in Melbourne, Tom was working at the MCG, and so Megan and I, so Tom's girlfriend Megan and I, went to go to a game, and Tom, it was working, so how he got in when he finished was he had to leave the venue and go back in with a ticket. And he had his work gear with him.
I was kidded up.
It was like because he was like leaving work. He had his work.
I was packing.
Yeah.
And he
Let's be
walked
real.
out and went in. The girl scanned his ticket, and as that happened, he just dropped this massive fucking knife on the floor. And he was like, "Oh shit, sorry," and just picked it up. And she was just looking, going like, "I'm not fucking dealing with this." He just walked straight in.
There was at least like 50 people in the vicinity that all would have noticed it because it's a steel knife. And when it hit the
so
ground,
loud.
it just clanged.
Yeah.
And it was one of those moments where everyone kind of stopped, turned around and looked. And I was like, oh, yeah, it's sick. This is my work knife. I just chuck it back in the knife kit.
You just picked it up, put it away, and walked away. And she was just like, "No, I'm not paying enough to deal with this."
Just this fucking
just walked
psycho
straight
bringing this
in.
massive knife.
Oh my
Jesus
god! I
Christ.
think that is literally one of the funniest moments of my life.
She, she did the right thing. There was no stabbings that night that I know of.
Yeah. Well, do you bring your own knife as a chef? You're like, because you bring your own equipment and you're like, your tools and that. Is that what that's all about?
Pretty much. So,
Yeah.
Ash being a Sparky, he'd take wires
He loves his wires.
and
man.
ohms.
I bring my own electricity, boys.
Exactly, yeah. He's...
Brings his own AC and DC.
We're the same. Like we don't.
Do very little with AC as a auto electrician.
I know. You got your certain knives that you like to work with, and you bring them
I've
around.
got my,
you drop them in front of people, and
I've got my cutting knives and my stabbing knives. They're separate.
I usually drop those in crowded places. Just
Sports venues.
exactly.
I think
Helps instill fear.
that woman's exact job description was probably to stop things like that from happening.
Yeah, she's just like, fuck that, man.
Yeah.
Fuck that.
I'm the actual reason that they started lockdowns. They're like, there's someone out here that's going to do random stabbings. Let's shut the whole state down.
When you first brought up that story, I was expecting it to go somewhere really different, like having Tom's work clothes. I thought,
I thought he was going to sneak.
I thought you were going to sneak in, like, oh, I don't have a ticket, so don't worry, I've got this outfit, and you can like sneak in, pretend you're working here.
Forgot something in the kitchen. I'll be back out, and then you just don't.
But no, it's just like,
I
oh
was
fuck, my
dressed
knife.
as a nurse, a sexy nurse.
He was wearing the chef hat and everything. There was a rat in there pulling his hair. That's why he shaved it off. It kept happening to him.
Yeah, he's
Sick of rats pulling it.
Yeah, I kept getting piloted by a marsupial.
What rats up, marsupials?
I know, but we're not in France either, so
No, he had a possum. He had like a massive possum just on his head.
It was just a fucking kangaroo in his hat.
Oh no, not a kangaroo. They're big.
it's just a sugar glider gnawing on my ear.
Hey, that'll be cool. I'll go and watch that in the cinema. Actually,
yeah.
Sugar gliders, so
Absolutely,
cute.
I would. I wonder if that one would be a tearjerker.
Oh man,
It'll be something. It'll be a something jerker, that's for sure.
Pulling very different hairs, I see.
Yeah.
All right, this has gone askew.
All right, bringing it back to the Pakistan Super League.
I forgot all about that.
yeah. I say we start our own league, our own sub Super League, and we try and outplay them, or we challenge their 4 best cricketers to a life or death stakes match of cricket.
Oh no! Please no! Not life or death.
I don't like our odds.
I can't play. I can't play cricket at all.
Well,
If someone bowls at me, I'm like, holy fuck! I don't want to get hit by that, and I can't hit.
I don't think I've ever
can't
played
bowl it.
cricket with anything except the tennis ball, so
Yeah,
I don't know
probably-
how
me
that
too.
would go for me.
that's fine.
I've played indoor before. I got a top score of -17 because when every time you get out, you lose runs.
Were you playing on golf rules? I hope.
Every time you get out, you lose runs.
Were you playing
I
with
got
a
out a
table
lot.
tennis paddle? Like, how did you get out so many times?
I was not good.
No, I'll be no different, man.
No, I'd probably be worse. So I don't know why I'm here fucking just giving you some for it.
I think I'd try and play baseball rules and just get hit by the ball and maybe crack a few ribs. I might be able to walk a few bases.
He's ducking it. It's the
All
only thing I
right.
know about baseball because it's from Benchwarmers.
Shall we
Proceed.
crack a few cheeky furfies?
I reckon we better crack a few furfies, boys. Ooh, So who wants to go first? I reckon Tom or I should go first since Dan has 2 to fill in for Ash's absence.
For a shell of a man.
Yeah, I am literally dead weight this week. I was not even going to be a part of the podcast until 5 minutes before it started. I was like, I have a little bit of life in me.
Did you go and have a sparkling mineral water or something? Is that what happened, Ash? You just like felt hydrated, ready to go?
No, funnily enough, I was actually in a Zoom catch up with some of my friends from Melbourne because we can't catch up in person.
Mm-hmm.
And we were playing Jackbox, and I was like, guys, I think I'm going to have to bail. I'm feeling too sick. But instead, I connected my wireless headset and I played Jackbox from my bed. It worked pretty well, actually. So that's what I was doing.
Very well. Very well.
Well, I'd play rock, paper, scissors, but it's not very conducive to an audio based
No, we
kind of thing.
We can do it.
Right,
So
you're the host, Ruby. You make the call.
no, we're doing rock paper scissors, Tom. So
All right, let's do it.
so
Wait, hold on, just very quickly. Do you guys say rock, paper, scissors or paper, scissors, rock?
rock paper scissors.
Yeah,
Or
it's a
do you
very
say-
South Australian thing because nobody in WA says rock, paper, scissors. Always paper, scissors, rock over there. I was like,
That's
you
because
guys
Western
are
Australians are
backwards
weird.
inbred.
Yeah,
Does
well,
anyone say rock, paper, scissors, shoot? Because I don't, but I know people that do.
I don't, but I saw
No.
people saying it last night, actually.
And it's like rock, paper, scissors, isn't it?
Exactly. You shoot on the last one.
Yeah, rock, paper, scissors. But, well, you can't see that if you're listening.
Yeah.
But, like, also, they don't do it like that, like real snappy. It's paper, scissors, rock. And I'm like, you guys
oh
are just-
no.
I can't handle this.
No bueno. No
That is-
bueno.
They are the worst people.
I'll be sure to let them know.
All right, so this is how we're going to do it on the podcast, Tom. Obviously, if we just hold our hands up, it's going to be awful for the audio listeners. So just think of what you're going to put out there, whether it's scissors, paper, or rock, and we'll just say it at the same time. So ready? On 3, 2, 1, go. That's when we'll say it.
All right.
So 3, 2, 1, paper.
Paper.
Ooh. We'll go again. 3, 2, 1, rock.
Paper.
Fuck you said it after, but whatever, that works. So do you want to go first or after?
I want you to go first.
All right. So
You got this.
The Podfather will breach. Rond will breach it.
all right. So 3 stories as usual. What order should I put them in? All right. So story number 1 is horse rescued from Port Stephens Canal. Story number 3 is 3-year-old Clydesdale gives miracle birth to triplets at stud farm in Scotland. And story number 3, jumps racing to be removed from South Australia's racing calendar from next year. So obviously all of these stories are horse-based, horse-themed. It got sort of inspired by all of the rubbish that's going around with horse dewormer trying to, cure coronavirus. I think that's the one that's most unbelievable, which is unfortunately true.
Is it Intermivin or whatever it is?
Ivermectin.
Yeah.
Ivermectin, that's it.
So, yeah, that one sounds like the fakest of all of them, but it's not. But these are some other just purely horse-based furfies to chuck out there. So, boys, what are we
Just
thinking?
quickly, do you hate the number 2?
Did I not say number 2?
No, you said number 3 twice.
Well, the thing is, I've got them listed here, but I mixed them up, so I don't have it like 1, 2, 3.
Right. Yep. I'm with you. Can
right.
confirm.
So I'm sorry about that. Number 2.
Boys,
I
gotta
don't
do
have
it.
anything against number 2. So any more?
Unlucky number.
Do you want me to go through them all and give you information? Give you the
Yes.
dot points?
I do.
So story number 1, a horse rescued from Port Stephens Canal. So 3 dot points for each story. A horse has escaped serious injury after being rescued from a canal in Port Stephens. Under the supervision of a vet, firefighters from Port Stephens and New Lambton used a harness to pull the horse up from the side of the canal. The horse, named Daisy, is now being checked over by the vet, but appears to be unharmed. So, a nice little story.
Can I just ask,
Yes.
where is Port Stephens?
It's just above. It's in New South Wales, just above Newcastle.
It's in the Steven universe.
I hate you!
I hate myself too. It's fine.
I love you, Tom.
Right, I love you too, Tom.
Story number 2. So the 3-year-old Clydesdale gives a miracle birth to triplets at stud farm in Scotland. A very unusual occurrence as horses reach maturity at 4 years old, and triplets are very rare. 5th generation Angus Wilson at Wilson Clydesdales was shocked when the vet performed the ultrasound revealing the 3 foals growing inside Belle's belly. So I guess the horse's name was Belle.
No, it's his wife. She's just growing horses inside her.
Yeah, well,
She's had too much horse dewormer.
yeah, well, that's something, Dan.
Exactly.
And 2 of the foals were born naturally, though unfortunately a cesarean was needed for the 3rd, as it was backwards. And they're all healthily now in the paddock, and Mum is recovering from the historic birth. And story number 3, jumps racing to be removed from South Australia's racing calendar from next year. Racing SA has removed jumps racing from next year's racing schedule. Participation in jumps racing has been declining for some time, and protesters have long called for jumps racing to be banned in South Australia. So they are my 3 stories, boys. What are we thinking is the Furphy?
I just want to point
there
out
is one of them that I do know is true. So
I just want to point out that, funnily enough, after saying that you will breach the first round, I'm pretty sure the technical term for something being born backwards is breach.
Yep, I can confirm.
I just wanted to point that out. I thought that was kind of funny. I mean, it's not funny that it was breach. It was just funny that happened to be. I'm digging a hole. Let's continue.
no, dig. Up.
Take the shovel off, Ash.
I could not stand to dig a hole at the moment, I don't think.
He could not stand at the moment.
911. Yep. Yeah. Ash's sense of humor. Yeah. They need help.
Yes, another visual gag for our audio podcast. How many can we fit in?
Plenty, I'm sure. Plenty.
Tom was on the phone to someone.
My headphones are on the phone.
Yeah.
God. All right, let's please continue.
So, what are we thinking?
I want to go with number 3, but I want to go with the last number 3. I think it was the show jumping.
Is the Furphy?
Yeah.
Okay.
The only reason I'm saying this is because you said the name Angus, and Angus is a very Scottish name, and Clydesdale is a very Scottish horse. So that's the only reason I'm basing it on that.
All right. What are you thinking, Mr. Shell of a Man?
I'm thinking I shouldn't have drank so much last night, but I'm also thinking that the one that Tom has picked as the Furphy is actually true, because I know that show jumping is generally very protested against because it's like really bad for the horses. Lots of horses die during it and things like that, and it's just not very popular anymore.
It's very good for the glue industry, though.
Don't forget the dog meat.
Dog's got to eat, man. Dog's got to eat.
Dog does have to eat.
Doesn't have to be horse, but has to eat.
I also think that the first one is true, so I'm going to go with number 2.
Number 2?
The only reason I think the first one is true is because it's just such a weird one to come up with if it's fake. But yeah, I have no other reason to think so than that, so I'm going to go with number 2.
Number 2?
Yeah.
The Clydesdale birth?
I think I'm also going to go with the Clydesdale. No real reason. Just the first one seems kind of. Oh, I can see a cheeky grin coming on your face there.
Yeah,
He's fooled us. He's fooled us.
He's fooled us.
That's a frothy
I've already
Furphy.
said I'm going with number 2, but number 1 feels like a very low-key story.
It was a low-key story. So, boys, number 2 was the Furphy. Congratulations. You cracked it. Apart from Tom. No celebrations for him. Sorry, mate.
No.
Got to get someone, though. You usually get me, so fucking it is what it is.
I feel like I've been banned to the smokers area.
Yeah, well, the smokers area, the thing is about the smokers area at the pub, boys, is it's usually like the nice place outside, nice balcony and that, but the smokers always fucking stinking it up, you know?
Yeah.
We've got to keep pushing them out further onto the road until they're down the street somewhere, you know?
I think that they should just be publicly executed.
Yeah, well... that's a take. That's a take. So yes,
Next week's news headline: podcaster executes smoker in broad daylight.
Well, someone's got to make an example of them.
Yeah, well, I guess it can be you. So 3-year-old Clydesdale gives miracle birth. So yes, I did come up with that one. I was just thinking like, all right, I want it horse themed, and I was looking up like when a horse actually is actually able to reproduce, and it's 4 years old. So 3 years is a year before when it can actually naturally give birth. Yeah, and even twins are extremely rare in horses. So I think it said on Google that horses, I think the rate of successful triplets in horses was it's like 1 in 300,000. So it's just like extremely rare. So for this to actually happen would just be nuts. But I'm sure it's happened somewhere, but not Scotland.
It's also got a higher percentage of Furphys that I've guessed correctly on this show.
Yeah, me too, man. But yeah, story number 1, that was pretty straightforward. I pretty much said everything that needed to be said on that. But the first one is actually the more interesting one. That's the first story I came across, and that was from abc.net.au, talking about the South Australian jumping racing. And, it's I was looking it up on YouTube before we did the podcast, and fucking hell, some of these races are extremely graphic, just like the horses are going as fast as they can, all jumping over these jumps, and just like the crashes they have is just insane. And
It's bad.
the amount of horses that, just like they break a leg, then, there's no mending it unless it's like an extremely valuable horse. It's just like, it's not going to heal. It's not going to make them any money afterwards. So it's just killed.
Off to the glue factory.
Yeah, or just wherever it needs to go, I guess. But it's just extremely sad, and it is a good thing I think they've got rid of this, because there's racing horses, and there's the whole industry around that. But then there's really like doing what they're doing to these horses, which is pretty sad. And ultimately they did stop it just because of the decline in the people watching it and the amount of money they're raising from it. So I don't think it was so much people saying, hey, this is bad. People just like stopped supporting it with their money, and the industry sort of reacted to that. So it's a good story of just how to, vote with your wallet in some sense. If you don't like it, don't go and watch it. Don't support it. Don't bet on it, all that. And just watch horses run in a straight line or around the oval and call it a day. You don't have to see them jump. But I don't know. It's like those old episodes. I remember when I was a kid, I used to love the episodes of Thomas the Tank Engine when the trains had a crash. So, there might be the same might be the same mentality with horse jumping.
I think the
Thank
big
you for a
difference in
status,
that
Drew.
is, the trains were fictional and they didn't have sentient life and
course.
didn't feel any pain.
Of course.
So
Well, you don't know that, Tom. You don't know
this
that.
is true.
You don't know they don't feel pain. I'm pretty sure Thomas once or twice
Thomas
went,
isn't
ouch.
real. Thomas can't hurt you.
But yeah, I think this is a good story all around anyway. Yeah. All right, Dan.
Done.
Here we go.
Go next.
Round 1. Story number 1. Missing drunk man spent hours helping a search party look for himself. Story number 2.
Something I might have done last night.
Turns out that is real because Ash was the man.
Yeah, I can confirm that one.
Story number 2. Suriname vice president plays in CONCACAF League soccer match at 60 years old. And story number 3. Chilean city Puerto Montt holds world first fish fight festival. Now, I'm going to assume you'll want to hear more.
Yes.
No, I want to just fight with fish right now.
Fair, very fair. Story number 1. A missing man in Turkey accidentally joined his own search party and looked for himself for hours before he realized he was the target of the rescue mission.
Had no one else noticed he was there either.
Have you seen this man?
I
mean, it looks
Picture of
kind of familiar.
himself.
I'm
Yeah.
looking at him.
No, I've never seen him before in my life.
They just held a mirror up to him and it's like, have you seen this person?
According to local media reports, Beyhan Mutlu, a 50-year-old man from a rural region in Turkey, was out drinking with his friends when he wandered off into a nearby forest and didn't return. Worried about him, his friends then alerted authorities, who set up a search and rescue to find him. According to Turkish channel NTV, when news of the missing man got out, efforts to find him intensified in nearby neighborhoods. with a large group of volunteers suddenly joining the mission. This search party is calling out Mutlu's name for hours, and suddenly a man spoke from within the group and was like, "Who we're looking for? I'm right here." It is unclear how Mutlu found himself in his own search party or how his friends didn't realize he was right there the whole time.
Look, it's Mutlu. There he is.
It's me, Mutlu.
All right, now the soccer-playing 60-year-old vice president.
Just quickly as well, isn't that a very odd thing to do, even if you are really drunk? Like, who gets really drunk and just wanders into the woods?
I mean, people do tend to do weird, strange things when they're drunk and just wander off.
Fairy tale characters mostly.
All right, the Suriname vice president. Father Time is undefeated, but nobody tell that to the vice president of Suriname, Ronnie Brunswick. Brunswick, who owns Inter Mogentepo, captain and played for his team on Tuesday night for a total of 54 minutes against Olympia in a CONCACAF League match. Brunswick is 60 years old. Brunswick has led an interesting life in the small South American country that puts this most recent move into perspective. According to a profile, he has been an elite paratrooper, a soccer player, a wanted bank robber, a guerrilla leader, a gold baron, and a father to at least 50 children during his lifetime. He's also been convicted of drug trafficking in Europe, but has helped bring democracy to Suriname. He's been questioned on where he's earned his wealth by some, but also has a reputation for generosity. An example being he used to shower his supporters with money while in a helicopter from overhead.
So I guess you could say they were golden showers.
God damn it. All right, and now the fish fight. The Chilean city of Puerto Montt has come up with a novel idea to celebrate its fishing heritage, coming up with a festival of flying fish. The Festival de la Lucha de Peces will be held on December 5th in the Plaza de Armas de Puerto Montt. It will celebrate the fishing industry, which has allowed the city to thrive and become one of the world's largest producers of salmon. Amongst exhibits from local artists and vendors, the festival will hold a gigantic food fight. Participants will be encouraged to slap each other in the face with a fish or pelt each other with sardines and anchovies. For those not wanting to go home smelling of fish, there will be a huge soapy water fight afterwards.
Ooh.
Puerto Montt will be hoping the event will bring curious tourists from all over South America and highlight their local fishermen's catch as some of the best and freshest on the continent.
Now that sounds like the sort of like really bad script writing for a porno. Don't worry, there's a big soapy water fight after the fish fight.
Well, you need to get cleaned up, I guess.
Yeah, that's true. Very different kind of white foam in those films, though.
Very different.
God damn it. Now, I don't know. I want so badly for number 2 to be real.
Can I just ask? I am very confused because when you said it at the beginning, I figured Suriname was like a some sort of
Company,
but now
Yeah.
I'm thinking it's a country.
It is a country. It's
Right, I've never heard of it.
I believe it's between Venezuela and Colombia off the top of my head.
Well, there you
So
go.
right at the top of South America.
That guy, I mean, that one can't be true because you said he was a guerrilla leader, but we all know the we all know the only guerrilla leader is Harambe. So
he's doing God's sleep now.
Ooh.
yeah, I don't know. Here they're all very far fetched.
Maybe that's what I need to start doing. Rather than trying to go for realistic, just go ridiculous. All
Well,
on
I
it.
don't know. Man Bites Dog was pretty ridiculous.
But I'll have you know, a day after, maybe 2 days after we did that, I think this is where I subconsciously picked it up. There was a game in a shopping centre near where I live.
What,
And it
Bite
had-
Dog?
Yeah, Man Bites Dog on the thing. And I remember sending a photo to a group chat that had Ash in it. And I said, see, I knew it was real.
Yeah, I do actually remember that.
Was that a
Quite
game?
funny.
What?
Yeah, I think it's something to do with like making up weird headlines. Pretty much what we do, but less cool.
I've actually
we should hit
played
them with a
that
copyright
game.
strike.
I've played that game before. It is actually really funny.
I just imagine you go into like EB Games and on Game Boy Advance, just Man Eat Dog or men bite dog. You're like, oh, I'll buy that. It's just like a nice 2D action platformer. You're just a dog biting people or a man biting dogs.
It's like a card game, kind of like Cards Against Humanity. So you'd probably get it from Zing. You could still get it from EB Games.
True.
Okay, I'm just gonna have a stab here. I think what was story number 1 again?
Story number 1 was the drunk man in his own search party.
Right. I'm gonna go with that one because it's the least weird one, and I feel like it's a red herring. I feel.
Because you said herring, I'm going to go with number 3.
What are you thinking?
Just basing it off what you're saying, really.
That's a terrible way to do this, but be my guest.
Speaking of terrible ways to do this, I'm going to go number 2 just so one of us get him. You
Cover
know,
all bases.
he doesn't get away with this.
All right.
It's
So,
tomfoolery.
can confirm that Tom has picked the frothy surf.
Hey.
There is no fish fight festival, which does mean there is a 60-year-old vice president playing soccer in Suriname, and there was a Turkish man so drunk he didn't realize he was looking for himself.
I kind of thought
Now
that
that's a frothy furf.
I kind of thought that it
Thanks,
might have
Barman.
been the third one when you were saying the names of all the places. I was like, this is just the most stereotypical South American, like Spanish names I've ever heard. Like, it's all just it sounds like rubbish to me.
I know, I looked them all up on Google Maps though, but
Oh, well, there you go. Eat my words.
First rule about fish club is you don't talk about fish club.
We've had a lot of Fight Club jokes today.
maybe you
Can't
should
help it,
finally
it's a
watch the
good
movie.
Yeah.
I already know what happens at the end, so it kind of spoils it.
Yeah.
Well, literally, it is a spoiler.
All right, Tom, what you got for us this week, mate?
All right, prepare to be extremely disappointed with my stories this week.
Okay, I will.
Love it. Okay, so story number 1. Koalas wearing fitbits in the Adelaide Hills as researchers develop facial recognition software. This second story is Flinders University lecturer in animal behavior. Oh, sorry. I'm reading the bottom thing of that. Never mind. Shearer shortage driving record prices for Australian white shedding sheep.
I feel like Drew's going to know if that one's
Yeah.
true or false, but continue.
I think
Well,
maybe
cool
that's
to put
why I
that
may have
story
put it
in
in
with
there.
Shearer.
And the third story is Bilby numbers soar due to Australian lockdowns.
Oh, fuck, I hope so. I love bilbies.
Me too. I'm a big fan of the Bilby.
I really
Did you
hope
guys
number
ever
3
get
is
like for whatever reason in Australian primary schools they tell you that we don't have the Easter Bunny in Australia, we have the Easter Bilby? Did you guys get that as well?
Yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah, you can get like
yeah.
chocolate Easter Bilbies from like Hagues and stuff.
Yeah,
We got
so
told we
odd.
had the Easter Bilby, but I never got told there wasn't the Easter Bunny. I just assumed there was the Easter Bilby and the Easter Bunny doing the separate
Working
thing.
together.
Yeah, they work together.
They were accomplices, you say.
Not working together, but they're doing their own thing. So the Easter Bunny comes and like drops a couple of eggs. Then the
The Easter Bilby makes Tom cook by pulling his hair.
I had a little plush Bilby that I absolutely loved when I was a kid. I used to sleep with it and cuddle it and all that stuff a
I
kid
used to
does.
have a plush platypus that I loved. I'm a
Aw.
huge platypus fan.
Oh, platypus are so cute, aren't they?
Did you know that they're venomous? Male platypuses have
They do.
splines behind their flippers, and
I
they're
did.
venomous.
So
I
don't
love
go
the
and
word splines.
Ash, you want to see my spline?
Oh, boys, do you want me to give you some of the venom from my spline?
Oh, I'm just going to inject you with my spline. You'll feel so sleepy afterwards. Here we go,
All right,
boys.
I think this might be the most awry we've ever gone.
Why does the Pakistan Super League want to claim ownership of this?
Well, yeah, that's going to trigger it. One of the players is like, spline's my word.
He screams it out every time he gets a wicket. Spline!
Get splined, motherfucker.
Inject you with me venom.
All right, Drew, what do you think of this story about the shearing?
There's
Shearer?
there's definitely a shearing shortage, that's for sure. A lot of people aren't able to move around the country. States are locked down. New Zealand is where a lot of the shearers come from for our season. They come over and, they can't come over at the moment either. And even if they can, because I think they can if they want to quarantine and stuff, but it's not worth their time and like to quarantine and stuff. Because if you come over 2 months and you've got to quarantine for 2 weeks, it's a bit, especially on the way back too. So it's you're better off just staying home. Because I think that they actually got a price increase a couple of years ago over there. They used to come over here because our dollar was stronger and they also got paid more. So great incentive to come over to Australia. Whereas the incentive isn't quite as strong as it was. So I don't know about the bit at the end with the shedding sheep though. I don't know how Tom's put that one in there. Whether he's just like, oh well, there is a shearing shortage, but maybe the shedding sheep, no one shears the shedding sheep because they don't need shearing. I don't know what bullshit Tom's trying to pull over here. I do know like a breed around here, the Aussie Whites, you don't have to shear them, but for the first couple of years, you do have to sort of like neaten them up because they've got like scruffs on their back and that you've got to like get off. And then when they're a bit older, they sort of just shed it all off and look a bit more neat.
They also grow venomous splines out of their cheekbones.
Fuck, I hope not. Just trying to hold a venomous sheep. That sounds awful.
I also just want to say, Aussie White is the least creative species name I've ever heard.
Yeah, it's not great. It's also like it's a relatively new breed, I guess. From
May I remind you some of the things Australian name things about. We have in our home region we have the Blue Lake,
Blue Lake,
the Little Blue. We have Ayers Rock, which is essentially a rock that ascends into the air.
But that's named after someone. It's Ayer.
Also, it all goes by Uluru now anyway because white people are awful.
True.
Yeah.
But think about how creative we are.
Whoa, Tom.
The Valley Lake.
I get it. All right. I don't know if you probably wouldn't know, but you got super loud for no apparent reason when you were saying that.
Oh, I think it's just because I was offended.
Tom peaked. He peaked
No,
audio
I think you just moved closer to your microphone and it just came through for us really weird.
Apologize.
So,
do you want to hear more? I've got,
Yeah, tell us more about your stories there, Tom.
About the Bilbies.
Give us some info.
All right. So, koalas wearing fitbits. The tendency for some humans to measure their steps, heart rate, and running distance through wrist-worn sensory gadgets before posting such data on social media is well known. But who knew a group of about 40 koalas in Clayland Wildlife Park in Adelaide Hills were also wearing such tech-savvy devices? Black ones, because it was the only colour they could tolerate. Flinders University lecturer in animal behaviour, Diane Colombelli-Negril, said Fitbits were supplying her team of researchers with data as a non-invasive way to measure the marsupial's psychological response to human monitoring.
So that's the real reason Gladys Berejiklian's resigned. She's heard that people are trying to do good things for koalas, and she's like, "No, I got to do something about this."
No,
she's actually the reason. She flew over to Adelaide Airport. She's been quarantined there.
She's the case in Mount Gambier.
There we go. You heard it here, folks.
She's gone to kill some koalas and brought COVID with her.
Now that's some furphy if I've ever fucking heard one. To spread some shit.
Forget seal clubbing. She's gone koala clubbing.
We're officially running a smear campaign.
Fishy's already done that to herself.
Allegedly, boys. Allegedly. Everything's fine as long as you say allegedly at the end of it. All right.
So
Do you want some info on the sheep?
Yes, please.
All right. So a ram sale on the New South Wales Central Tablelands has rewritten the record books as interest in shedding sheep reaches new heights. A top-priced ram at the eighth annual Tattykeel Australian White Stud near Oberon sold for $165,000 to Flaxley Australian White Stud in South Australia. The record ram, named White Gold, set an Australian record across all meat sheep breeds, but there were several other rams for sale that also would have broken old record sales. Stud rams averaged about 40k and flock rams averaged about 15. Auctioneer Miles Fitzner said he was speechless after the sale, which grossed more than 5.5 million in total. The Australian white breed was developed by Tattykeel almost a decade ago, and in recent months, strong demand has seen several records broken. So there was a little bit more information down here. These aren't sheep that are bred for their wool; they're bred for meat purposes. So that's why.
Mm-hmm.
I just happened to notice because I've got the Facebook stream on my phone just sitting there, so I can see the captions because I really like watching them because they're funny a lot of the time. When you said 5.5 million, it did 5.5 and then just a load of zeros. Which is not how you write 5.5 million.
Yeah, it tried.
So it basically just wrote 5.5. Anyway, sorry, continue.
I don't know, like, I think this one's real because obviously if this is a furphy, Tom's done his research. Whether he's made up the numbers or not, I don't know. But, Tadacule is a real stud here in South Australia and all of that. So
Tom is quite good at doing
research. Whether he's just planting it for me, like, I don't know.
The double bluff.
Let's get that shearer caught in the furf.
Yeah. But
also with the
that story had nothing to do with shearing, by the way. It was just a ram sale. So
with the ram being called white gold, now we can move on to white golden showers.
Oh God!
You can do what you want, Ash, in his free time, mate. But don't put it on us.
All right.
And some bilbs.
Shall we talk about everyone's favourite animal?
The quokka.
According to PAX, it is.
That's true. Very true. It's no longer the ibis. All right. So bilby numbers soared due to Australian lockdowns. A recent study undertaken by the University of Canberra has shown that key points around Australia have seen bilby numbers soar. The researchers in charge, Jenny Mansfield and Lachlan Downs, have
Downy
put into number that it seems to be a rapid growth of bilbies, wild bilbies born in a recent year due to...
Are you making this up on the spot?
He can't read his own writing here.
I can't read my own writing.
It's just funny because he typed it.
It is true. It's so hard to read when you got wingdings down there. Yeah, sorry. And numbers have soared due to,
I love wingdings.
the wildlife preservationists not being able to conduct their checks due to being locked down and not being able to move out where they normally would be.
Suspicious. It's very suspicious. The numbers have soared because the wildlife people can't check to see if they've actually soared. Interesting.
So, also, I forgot to mention this at the start. I know that one of these stories is true, so I'll let you guys answer first.
Well,
I'm going to look in number 3.
Number 3. I'm not going to go for number 2. No, Tom really could have planted some bullshit for me, like, oh yeah, that's true. But he might have like some little factor in there, like the actual price of the RAM and stuff. I don't know. But I'm not going to go for it because I always overthink these and it bites me in the ass every single time. So now that I've said that, you bastards are going to come around next week and really fuck me up. So now I'm going to double think myself next week. So don't even think about it, boys. So I won't go for that one. What was number 1 again? Just remind me of that.
The koalas wearing fitbits in the Adelaide Hills.
Yeah, I know that they get monitored. I don't know how good a Fitbit would be for a koala. Being like, is their pulse in the same spot? This
is what I was thinking.
Like, is it able
bluffing us?
Yeah, because yes,
Trying to give nothing away.
Yeah.
Poker face.
Looking at Tom's eyes.
He's glazed
dumb
over.
face.
I think he's dead.
No. Don't die, Tom. Don't. For the love of God.
I've overcome a crippling addiction known as dumb face.
I'm going to go for number. I don't know. Just it's either I'm going to go for number 1 and number 3, but just like with how Tom read that last one, I'm like, was it just like a poorly written? Was it his poorly written article that he couldn't read, or was it someone else's that he couldn't make sense of?
Or did I read it poorly on purpose?
Yeah,
The
well,
plot thickens.
I think you're saying that just to complicate shit. I don't think you did.
Not Pickens.
I like how we rewind 30 seconds. Drew's like, I'm not going to overthink it this time.
Here we
Comments
fucking
that
are.
didn't age well.
Hey, I said I'm not going to overthink number 2. I'll fucking double
I'll
overthink the
overthink
other
the
2.
other ones as much as I fucking want.
I'm going to go number 1 because why not? Why not?
Okay, well, the one that I know is true is number 1. So I am
number
gonna
3.
I'm going to go for number 2 because I think I remember reading at a zoo maybe that one of the big reasons that bilbies were like endangered was from being run over. And I feel like with lockdowns, it actually might have allowed their numbers to explode because there's not many people on the roads. And I know that number 1 is true. So I'm going to go with number 2 just based on that. But I guess it doesn't really matter.
Tom, if it's number 2,
Probably
I'm going to be fucking very unhappy with you. You planting bastard.
I can tell you that in fact Dan has picked the Frothy Furphy.
As much as I wish the Bilbs have come back, got to wait for Easter time to that.
Or we just need Tom to cook us something.
You see? Now that's a frothy firth.
That was barman. Fucking hell, that was tasty.
I had to drop that in there because I've been baited with soccer stories. People have been baited with other things they know a lot about. So I feel like dropping that in there every now and then is just going to tempt that person to steer clear of it.
Yeah.
Freak them out.
Fucking
The
freaked
double
me
bluff.
out. Scared the shit out of me, that's for sure.
And now we'll move on to Ash's round.
My round by proxy.
All right, Dan, what you got for us for your second round?
Story number 4. Art museum opens in Bratislava, displays nothing but paintings of sausages and bratwurst. Story number 2. An unnecessarily sexy statue is provoking some strong feelings in Italy.
Oh, yeah. Italian stallion on the painting.
Or story number
Statue
5.
of David Langley. Hello.
And story number 6. A museum says they gave an artist $84,000 in cash to use in an artwork. He delivered blank canvases and titled them, "Take the Money and Run." All right.
Just again, I know that one of these is true.
Oh, fucking hell, Ash.
I shall let
This man's too well
you
read.
2 answer first.
Ash, I just want to ask, what is your relationship with the internet? Do you just sit there and just look at random shit? Or like, what's going on? Why do you know so much of this stuff?
No, okay.
Or is it just because
a lot
I'm
of
dumb
this-
but I don't know it?
A lot of these things I actually hear about on other podcasts, funnily enough. So I've heard about one of those stories. I nearly said which story it was without thinking. I've heard about one of these stories on the Matt and Alex podcast. But yeah, that's the only reason I know it.
Okay, so
Right.
let's listen to
Would
Matt
you like
and Alex,
Would you
apparently.
like to hear more?
Yes, Dan. Yes, we would.
All right. The Sausage Museum. Art comes in many shapes and forms, but the Bratislava Art History Galleries, the Bratislavska Galeria de Umenia, his first exhibit is concerned with just one, the shape of the sausage. The gallery is celebrating its opening with a showing from Slovak painter Josef Mekla and his exhibit Forma Klobasi, in English, the form of the sausage. Mekla's work shows sausages in there. I can hear Ash laughing in the background.
Sorry, I need to bring this up. I looked at it because I knew it was going to come up really wrong. When you said that, I was like, I need to see what the captions say for this. And when you said Bratislava, it said practice lava. Sorry, continue.
Fucking Facebook's automatic just captions are more fun for the actual content itself. Fucking hell.
Mekla's work shows sausages in various settings, from simple still life to Renaissance-style works or portraits. The artist says he's looking to find ways to express his appreciations for a humble food which is incredibly versatile and a favorite of many Slovaks. It's not the first time Mekla has drawn inspiration from his dinner table. A landscape painting called Rapsodia Ruina Schnitzel sold in 2016 for a sum of 350,000 euros. The Bratislavska Galeria Dejan Umenia is on Mudranova Road and open from 11 p.m. to 5 p.m. All right, now after the sexy statue. At a ceremony on Saturday in the southern province of Salerno, former Italian Prime Minister Giuseppe Conte unveiled a brand new statue sculpted in tribute to an 1857 poem written by Luigi Mercantini.
Are we back to throwing baguettes this week or what?
No spaghetti.
Baguettes are French.
Garlic bread. Garlic bread. That's what we're throwing.
The sculpture depicting the poem's narrator doesn't quite look like how Italians were expecting. One photo in particular showing Conte and a group of other male dignitaries admiring the statue has gone viral in Italy as the cleaner deftly covers her breasts with one hand and looks behind her at the sea, with the imagined sea breeze revealing the curvature of her bum to the assembled politicians. And then
Tom's just demonstrating for us the shape of the statue.
I feel like Betty Boop.
all right, and the $84,000 in cash. A Danish artist was given $84,000 by a museum to use in a work of art. When he delivered the piece he was supposed to make, it was not as promised. Instead, the artist, Jens Harnig, gave the Kunsten Museum of Modern Art in Aalborg, Denmark, 2 blank canvases and said they were titled Take the Money and Run. Harning was asked to recreate 2 of his previous works, 2010's an average Danish annual income and an average Austrian annual income, first exhibited in 2007. Both used actual cash to show the average incomes of the 2 countries, according to a news release from the artist. In addition, for compensation for the work, Harning was also given banknotes to use in the work, museum director Lasse Andersen told CBS News via email. The contract even stated the museum would give Harning an additional 6,000 euros to update the work if needed, Andersen said. The time's works were initially exhibited. The Danish piece highlighted the average income of 328,000 kroner, approximately $37,800, while the average Austrian salary is around $29,000. That's kind of a dumb article.
Look at me go, I actually know which one of these is correct.
You mean you know which one is fake? Is that
No,
what
I know which one of these stories is a real story. So it brings it to a 50-50 for me.
Yeah, I know one of them's real as well.
Well, I hate
So
you.
Drew can go first. He's the only one that doesn't.
Oh, just fucking putting me out there like that. Just take the saddle off me and let me go into the woods, you know?
And you can search for yourself while you're in there.
Yeah. I'm not drunk, I'm just dumb, apparently. Where am I? I've got no idea, Dan. I'm going to just take a bet with this. I can overthink it as much as we can, but going to go number 3.
Number 3?
Yeah, why not? Yep.
All right. Tom, which one do you know is real?
Hang on. I think we should both pick one before we say which one's real.
Okay.
We both know that the other one, like if he knows the one that is real that I don't know, then I'll know which one it is.
Yeah.
So I am going to stab at number 1, I reckon.
I think I have to go with number 1 as well. That's what I was leaning towards before he said it, and I don't want to do the thing where we cover all bases, because if we're all wrong, then we deserve to all be wrong together.
All right. Also, just quickly, now that we've all picked one, the one that I know is real is number 3.
Yeah, same. I saw that and I was like, I wonder, should I put that in? And I'm glad I didn't.
Interesting, because I would have thought the one you thought is real is number 2, but number 1 is the Firth. There is no sausage museum. But I found story number 2 from Vice, which is why I thought you'd already have known about that one.
Which one was story 2 again? Sorry.
The sexy statue.
Ah, right.
Bow, chicka,
Yeah,
bow.
I thought that your place names, again, red herring, because you did real obscure place names in your first Furphy, and I was like, I reckon he's done it again. That's the only reason I did it. But I know Bratislava is a real place. It's in East Germany, I think.
It's the capital of Slovakia.
Oh, Slovakia. Well, there you go. But yeah, I know that because of Eurotrip.
What a film.
What a film.
I love that film.
Timeless classic.
There was some good boobs in there when I was a young lad.
You know what else is a timeless classic? Fight Club.
No, don't talk about it.
That's night now.
This is true.
I'll watch it tonight if I can survive that long.
But I think, good point, Ash. You actually made it through a whole episode.
Yeah, I'm still alive. I'm actually feeling better, weirdly.
Yeah, well,
It's because you're talking to us. Let's be real.
It's probably because I've just drank two cans of bourbon.
Why not?
well, my drink's almost empty, boys. I think that brings us to the end of the episode. Anything else we'd like to touch on before we head on our merry way?
Well, I'd like to touch on Ash, but if you stay away.
Not for 3 weeks.
Yeah, when he comes back, we'll get to touch him all we want, Tom. Just caress his hair.
Actually, something I will bring up just quickly. I don't actually know what I'm going to be allowed to, like how much stuff I'll be allowed to take into my hotel room when I go in. But if I can take my PC setup, which I'm fucking hoping I can because I'll go crazy if I can't, I am going to do a 40-hour Twitch stream.
Yeah, nice.
I'm going to do the Twitch quarantine stream. I came up with good branding and I had to reverse engineer the idea from there. But yeah, if I can, I'm hopefully going to try and bang out a 40-hour stream because I've seen people do it before. I might try to, I don't know if I'll get anybody watching it, but if I do, I might try to raise a bit of money for charity when I do it. Well, so hopefully I can do that and I can get a few people watching.
Raise money for the Bilbies, help their population explode.
Yeah, 40-hour famine of being outside.
Wait, what's 14 times 24?
You're only allowed to have barley sugars the whole time you're on stream.
What?
Is that like a 40-hour famine rule? I don't really know what you're talking about.
No, for some strange reason, it's always been something that stuck in my head. My sister, she used to do the 40-hour famine when we were both in primary school. And it was something to do with the countries she was supporting at the time.
Gotcha.
She could take in X amount of barley sugars to the 40-hour famine, and it was like, you do realize it's not really that long and you probably don't need that much food to eat. Like, you know,
It's like
40 hours isn't like an insanely long time to not eat. It's not like that.
Not for an Australian.
No.
For someone that's really struggling, yes, I get that.
Obviously, those people might not have eaten in weeks, and it's very hard for them. That's why we do this, to see how hard it is just to do it for 40 hours for us.
Exactly.
So, Ash, where can they catch you doing the 40-hour famine?
You'll catch me on my Twitch channel. I can't confirm whether I'll be able to do it until literally I get to my hotel, because I won't know what I'm allowed to take in and what I can't. But it'll be on my Twitch channel, which is goose_23, because I'm obsessed with gooses for some reason. Gooses, geese.
Gooses.
23 geese.
You'll be fine.
Yeah. Well, if it does happen, I'll let people know on my Twitter and in the House of Mario Discord. So go and check that out. Keep Ash company when he's got fucking jack shit to do.
Well, I will be going crazy, so you'll be able to watch my descend into insanity live.
Yes. For our entertainment.
Keep your eyes peeled on Drew's twits.
On the twits. Look
That
at my
sounds
twits.
oddly sexual, and I always have my eyes peeled on Drew's twits.
Speaking of the Discord, we could maybe get a little comment in the Crackin Furphys channel of like geese or Drew's twits.
Yeah,
See if you're listening.
that's a good idea. For my other
like that, I
podcast,
like
The House of Mario, which is our Nintendo podcast, at the end we say, if you listen to the show, you got the whole way, go into the House of Mario Discord. I'll either invite the show notes if you're not a part of that, or just on Twitter or Facebook. Leave the hashtag, Ash is a goose. There we go.
Quarren stream.
No, just Ash is a goose. Yeah, if you know how to, I don't know how to spell that. Quarren stream. Is there a correct spelling for Quarren stream?
Just like
We want to see all the creative ways you can spell Quarren stream.
KW. Well, Tom is clearly not a linguist.
I'll have you know,
like
I'm a cunning linguist.
Oh, shut up. QUARAN. Quarren.
No, they'll figure it out. They'll figure it out.
A, B, C, D.
Yeah, it's just the alphabet. Just hashtag the alphabet.
All right, boys. As the host, I'm kicking you out. I'll see you. I'll see you next week.
Right, catch ya.
Hashtag Quran stream.
It does look a lot like Quran, doesn't it?
Crackin Furphys is lovingly crafted and recorded in the southeast of South Australia. The show is produced and hosted by me, Drew Agnew, and my co-hosts are Ash Wallace, Daniel Treadray, and Thomas McRobert. If you enjoy my work here as well as on my other podcasts, The House of Mario, Encore at The House of Mario, and A Drew Story, help spread the word by sharing us with a mate or leaving a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. If you would like to show further support and help me achieve my goal of freeing up one working day a week to spend more time refining and creating podcasts, please consider checking out patreon.com/idruby, where for only $1 you get access to my secret recordings where I share everything behind the scenes. A big thank you to the legend DJ for supporting the content at the podcast producer level on Patreon. From the bottom of my heart, thank you.